In 2019, I made an 8-hour trek to buy the first Samsung Galaxy Fold, and I was very impressed by the innovative engineering and the build quality of the product. Samsung has refined its design over the past 4 years, but another company has jumped into the big screen foldable market, and in my opinion, they've raised the bar. Hello, everybody. This is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, coming to you with some thoughts about a phone that I've been using for the past 6 weeks. And it was such a fantastic phone that I went to the T-Mobile store, got a physical SIM card because the eSIM wasn't working at first, and was using my physical SIM card as the daily driver for the past 6 weeks. Now, they have released an update for that phone that may support the eSIM. So my next thing that I'm going to try is switching back and forth eSIM between this phone and an iPhone that I use for other purposes. So the phone I'm talking about is the OnePlus Open, and I've had it now. I got it, I think it arrived on October 30th, so it's been about 6 weeks that I've had this phone. And being that I've been using these large form factor foldables for the past 4 years, I can pretty much equivalently say this is the best phone of the foldables that I've tested. Now, there's a few things that kind of stand out, and I'll kind of walk through just some of the pros and cons. And the funny thing is, some of these things that I like about the OnePlus Open were things that I've experienced on the Z Fold, but I never really thought much about it until I got the OnePlus Open in my hand. So it's been argued before, a lot of people did not like the narrow display on the Samsung phones for a long time. And I've always kind of accepted, and I thought that, man, it was kind of nice to have a narrow phone for holding it up for phone calls, for putting it in your pocket. It wasn't until the OnePlus Open arrived where this outer display is equivalent almost to a regular phone. You can use this outer display in the close mode all the time if you want to, and a lot of people end up doing that. But for me, in my commuting with the train and things like that, the big, huge screen is very nice to have. But after using this phone, I now kind of hate the narrow display on the Z Fold, which rumors indicate that we'll see Samsung upgrade that. We've already seen Google with their Pixel Fold come out with a phone that does have a big screen. So the big screen display, I love it. I don't think I can go back to a narrow one, and I'm probably going to have to sell my Z Fold 4 because I'm just not using it anymore. One other thing that is kind of interesting on this phone that this is another thing that will probably be coming to Samsung, is the ability for that hinge and that display to actually fold completely flat. There's no gap at all when you close this phone, which isn't a big thing, but it's a design feature, and OnePlus was able to solve that, and it's really nice to have it folded so close. A few things I really liked about this phone, right? Of course, OnePlus, the three-way ringer switch is very handy. I hate the iPhone way they do it with a button. They were using a switch, which is so tiny I could hardly use it. Now it's a button to kind of switch between that. The three-way ringer switch is fantastic to go from silent, vibrate, and audio mode. I love that they used on the OnePlus Open the same thing that Samsung did with the right side fingerprint sensor, power button all in one. That's awesome. One thing that's interesting about this phone is, despite the size of it, it's very light. I mean, it's equivalent to what you find in a slab phone, and it feels great in the hand. It doesn't feel cheap light. It just is light and not overly burdensome. I did a video on YouTube here. It was a short video a few weeks ago about Open Canvas. It is a fantastic way to multitask with 3 apps on the big screen. I kind of did some demos with the big screen on the OnePlus Open versus the Z Fold 4 and showed the difference between Samsung's One UI and the Open Canvas. Open Canvas is awesome. It's pretty amazing that OnePlus was able to launch its first big foldable with that capability, but I love it. Also love that it comes in one model with 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of internal storage. Plenty on both accounts. Love it. Also, the OnePlus Open comes with fast charging and includes the 67-watt charger in the box. Nobody else is doing that anymore with the charger in the box, and this thing charges up very well. Also, it gets me longer battery life than the Z Fold 4 that I'm using. So despite having the fast charger, I don't necessarily need it that often because it does so well. A few things that I'm not 100% sold on yet is the rear camera bump. It's a big camera. The performance has been excellent. I love the camera performance and the results, but it is a big round camera hump on the back there, which means it doesn't sit very well when it's resting on the camera on the back. There are very limited options for cases, especially cases with a kickstand. I found something on Amazon. I ordered it. I immediately threw it away. It was like $8 or $10. The kickstand would not let it prop up. It fell over all the time. It was terrible. OnePlus does include a case that models pretty much what's on the device itself, but I'm looking for a case with a kickstand because both commuting and traveling on airplane, I use this as my main media viewing device, and I really need a case with a kickstand. So I'm on the hunt for that. If any readers or listeners or viewers, for example, have any ideas of a good kickstand case for the OnePlus Open, please let me know. I'd appreciate that. There's also a missed stylus opportunity, right? It was discovered that the OnePlus Open will actually work with the Oppo N2 and N3 stylus, both on the outside display and the inner display. I saw a video of that, so I've been hunting for one. I found one on AliExpress. I placed my order. It looks like it's not going to be delivered. I'm going to have to go get refunded. It was about $180. I'm still would love to try a stylus out. It seems like a missed opportunity for OnePlus not to embrace that. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But from what I hear and what I've seen on YouTube, it will support the Oppo N2 and N3 stylus. Someday, I hope to be able to test that out because it would be very handy to have it on the outer and the inner display. One other minor thing for me, but maybe not for some people, there's no wireless charging on the OnePlus Open. With that long battery life and that included 67-watt fast charger, I really don't care. I have not missed wireless charging at all, but it's not here, and it's something that should be noted. So the OnePlus Open, it sells for $1499.99 with the $200 trade-in. So it's the MSRP is $1699.99, but they will give you $200 on virtually any phone you send in. So essentially the price is $1,500. Now, I happened to trade in another phone that I had that was a little bit newer than that, so I ended up getting like $600 back. So this was just over $1,000 for this phone, which, in my opinion, killer. Great deal. Love it. No regrets at all. So the OnePlus Open is an exciting foldable, and it's amazing to see how quickly they were able to challenge Samsung. I thought they could probably challenge Samsung with the hardware, but I was amazed by the software capabilities in this phone with the open canvas and other capabilities that are in there. So nice job, OnePlus. If you're looking for a big screen foldable, I highly recommend you consider the OnePlus phone. And the funny thing is, over the years, I've tested OnePlus phones, and in typical review style, right, I'll put my main SIM in there. I'll use that phone at least through a month or 6 weeks of daily use as my daily driver. But without a doubt, I've always gone back to using some other phone or switching some other thing. The OnePlus phones have been great, but for some reason I haven't been able to embrace them. That has changed on the OnePlus Open. It does everything that I'm asking from a phone, and as a train commuter and a traveler, that big screen is beautiful. I love it. I actually bought the insurance just in case it breaks because I do not want to be without the OnePlus Open. Thanks everybody for watching, and may the mobile force be with you.